poppin', guys? I want to do a video about Castles 2. There's some interesting components and fundamentals that went into this project that made it one of the greatest mixtapes of this generation. That might even be an understatement, so if you guys think I'm just saying that to say it, watch this video and hopefully by the end of it, you guys will feel a lot more understanding about why this is such a legendary, timeless project. First thing I want to get to is the cover art. Just so you guys know, I don't write any of these videos. I'm a true certified cult fan. Much like you guys, if I'm watching content about Peep, it better be from someone in the fucking trenches. Someone who ain't reading wiki pages and shit on Genius and then whipping together a video with sticky notes and a picture of Peep in front of them. I live this shit. I want you guys to know that I'm very passionate about this, and there's unmatched authenticity in these videos. They really come directly from my heart. So making a video about Castles 2, I was really excited to do this because it's one of my favorite projects. I can't lie, Hellboy is one of my favorite projects too. The song they played, first time I heard that song, it was like sticking a fucking piece of dynamite in my mouth and lighting the wick. Just fiery explosion and face melting banger. Love that song. But I love Castles too. At this point in Peep's career, he had a tendency of writing songs that not only could end up on Billboard, but could easily rip the roof off a fucking building. These are big ass songs, guys. These songs were huge. There's a reason why Witchblades is parked at 140 million views, and it's not because everyone from China logged on and watched it once. It's because these are fucking hits. These are songs people are taking notice, people are paying attention, and most importantly, people are coming back for more. This had a lot to do with the release of Castles 2. After they put that project out and Peep and Tracy dropped Witchblades, the visual, Peep shortly after sold out an entire European and Russia tour. And not only that, he had 2,000 fans waiting to see him. And that was a really cool time during his career. That's one of my favorite timelines, is February going into March, because Peep did so much work in February. I always like to highlight that when I do the description of my videos, even when I wasn't doing commentary, so people can really get a better understanding of how much this kid truly grinded. He really worked hard in February. He did so many visuals, you know, he did so much work. Not only was he doing all the Come On When You're Sober demos, but he did Castles too. He did a shitload of music videos. You know, he did Your Favorite Dress. He did Witchblades. He co-starred in the video for This Year. He also did Hollywood Dreamin'. He recorded O with Raven and Tracy, but they never shot a visual for it. And he also did a whole bunch of songs with Curb Lagoop. So the January and February timeline of Peep is one of my favorite timelines because he had his hands so pressed against a grinding stone that I'm surprised they weren't worked to the bone. This kid did a lot of work in February. And that's the time that this album came out. It came out on February 6th, and it changed everything. When they went out on the stage and they flipped that curtain back and went out there and would play Witchblades, it was like a bomb going off in Korea every time. The only thing even similar to this is when Nirvana would play Teen Spirit, or Alice in Chains would play Them Bones or Man in a Box. These are songs where the minute the artist goes into them, there's a shift. The energy changes. You know you are now witnessing something that's fucking epic. When Peep and Tracy would start the intro to Witchblades, when the DJ would hit play, the person in the mosh pit would immediately be missing 3 teeth and their glasses would be broken. There's a reason for that. It's because these songs are powerful and there's energy in them and people go fucking batshit crazy. And they were doing this at a constant rate. Another really important thing to highlight here is that this is the first time Peep worked in a real studio. Everything previous to this point was done at home or done at an Airbnb on the go. But this opened up his entire relationship with Better Off Dead. So after Castles 2, he now had a friendship and a working relationship with Better Off Dead. He engineered Castles 2, and it had some of the best producers that Peep's ever worked with. we have Bighead, we have Lederrick, we also have Charlie Shuffler. Now, you guys know this is like an Avengers cast of producing. This should be like it's like cheating. Like to have such a strong production unit, it's like not even fair. Like you knew you were getting classics. And when you look at this track list, Jesus Christ, it's crazy how you can forget like how fucking perfect this project was. But look at this, man, fucking bangers, Jesus. Even Never Eat Never Sleep, man. It's like this project had everything. It had great cover art. You know you're looking at the picture of Castles too. Even if you shrunk those letters down, you know it's a legendary image. It's so cool that they went with that picture. I don't know how they discovered that. Obviously, they were probably Google searching pictures of castles, but the fact that they chose this is very interesting, and it worked. It's burned in our brain, and Peep did this with so many covers. He was so great at selecting cover art. Tracy too, it's their project, so I'm sure they both decided on this, but great cover art. And it had everything. It had great songs, it had great engineering, it had great production, it even had B-sides. I mean, Never Eat Never Sleep, the first time you hear that song, you realize that you've just stumbled across something very sacred and beautiful. That song is a gem. Those were the kind of songs that after Peep died, people were writing in YouTube comments like fake fans won't find us here, real fans only. They were leaving those kind of comments on songs like this because a lot of these songs were kind of rare at the time, but they were beautiful. Now they all have millions of views and they're hits, but it was just such a perfect project, and it really was the launch pad because these guys took flight after this project. When they put out Castles 2, it was like putting fucking rocket packs on these guys because they took off. This was such a big project, and everybody, all the components that all these guys brought, and the way all the stars aligned, even Wiki, the visuals that he shot, and Metro Blue doing that really cool VHS aesthetic theme on the Witchblades video, everything was just so cohesive and everything worked. And this was the time to be Peep and to be Tracy. This is when there was that energy in the air and there was a shift and you knew something special was happening, and they finally were making it in the industry, not only getting the respect from their peers, but Jesus Christ, I mean, Courtney Love put a post up about this project. When Kurt Cobain's wife is writing about your EP, you know you've done something right. And this is just, we can go on forever about how legendary this project was. But you take the track list, you take the cover art, you take the samples, you take the production. It's one of the best bodies of work that these two ever made. And they only did a few projects together as far as like a complete like mixtape. Obviously they have hundreds of songs together. Like when you have 140 million views, I have to highlight that because that's so insane to me. I know people say views don't matter and views don't count, but they really do. To me it's just crazy, because if I made music and I posted a music video or a song, after a few months it would probably have like fucking 13 views, and like 10 of them would be from me like refreshing it to see if other people are watching. So it's just insane, and it's really funny that when you get that amount of views, it's, you know, you made it. So it's just crazy that all that money and all that revenue that was coming in, and you know, Tracy was able to, he even said in a post that he was able to buy a house with money from SoundCloud, and that's really cool, and he deserves that. And you know, I want to take a second to talk about him, because at least we still have Tracy, who really is like the last knight. You know, he's such like the last of a dying breed. He's such a talented kid, and I know it sounds weird, but it's like if you take Slipknot and Future and Young Thug and like put it in a blender with like a little bit of like Black Flag on top, like you get little Tracy. He's such an interesting person, and he's so charismatic, and I don't know, there's just something about him. And I know he comes from a family of musicians, and I know that his parents did music, and they were he had a successful parent that was involved in the industry, but he was made for this. And the fact that he went through his entire life and eventually stumbled into Peep and met him at Needarb's house, and they made white tea 10 minutes later, that's just fate. Like how Peep met these people, I could make a video on alone, because it's just so interesting and it's so fascinating. You know, from buying a beat off Smoke a Sack and then ironically sharing a blunt with him 2 years later and talking about music and realizing that they were talking to each other and that they had previously corresponded on emails, and then both traveling to LA to pursue music and meeting. It's just crazy, man. And Peep always in the right place at the right time. You know, Castles 2, the anniversary's coming up, and it's still a fucking heat-seeking missile. I mean, Castles 2 was a rocket. But we gotta make sure we give credit to the people who launched it. And it had two brilliant authors, Lil Peep and Lil Tracy, one of the best duos. We'll never see another two guys like that again, ever, in the history of music. And Tracy, man, if there's one artist right now that could write a book and people would read it, it would be him. Just such a fascinating story to tell. It was kind of sad to see him in the documentary for like a total of 90 seconds. It's just like telling the story of the UFC and only having Nick or Nate Diaz in it for like 2 minutes. It's just insane. But Castles 2 was a legendary project. I got a lot of videos that I'm working on, and I got 2 that I'm getting ready to finish, and I'll be uploading this week, as long as Wiggy doesn't get my channel taken down. But I'll talk about that another time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and go relive Castles 2, man. It's the anniversary. It's a great album. Go stream it, you know? Nothing wrong with streaming the music, and it brings revenue to Peep, and you get to hear a banger at the same time. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Oh, wait a second. I want to make sure that I also talk about this. The songs that were originally recorded for Castles 2 that never ended up making it. Songs like Suck the Tip and songs like In This Bitch and Same Shit. All those songs were done in the Castles 2 sessions. Same Shit was the very first song that Better Off Dead recorded for Peep and Tracy during that session. Featuring Polarity. So those were amazing songs, and those guys had a tendency to always track songs but never use them for the project. So it'll be great if we can get Suck the Tip or Cocaine, whatever the official title is. It'd be great to get that in true CD quality, because that's an amazing, fun song. It has great melody work by Peep too, and Tracy murdered that verse. Jesus Christ. Tracy spit some fucking heat on that. He put in work on that beat. Both those guys fucking chewed that beat up. That's a great song. I remember when that song first leaked, it was like, Jesus, there was like a shift in the universe. It was like crazy. But man, Castles 2, man, great fucking project that I'll never forget. And it had a lot to do with the success of these guys. So there's no way we're gonna tell a story and not talk about it. But I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out of here. Peace.
Walls, I hear you calling for me. Maybe after all, I fear you're wanting more of me. Past the castle walls, I hear you calling for me. Maybe after all, I fear you're wanting more of me. Go.